Hello, everybody. It's Stephanie Grams, CEO and founder of the Keepsake Business Academy.com. I help sewing enthusiasts go from hobbyists to sewpreneurs, specifically for the memory bear and keepsake business industry. And you can learn more about me at stephaniegrams.com and more about the Keepsake Business Academy at keepsakebusinessacademy.com. So today is going to be an interesting video. I am going to share different aspects of owning a memory bear business. And I have my notes. If I look away, just know it's because I'm looking at my notes so I don't jump along and like a bunny trail and lose attention there. So we're going to talk about different aspects of the memory bear business industry. And some of them are just cold, hard truth and facts. And but you can overcome them. Some are not so pretty in this list. We'll do a different list another day. But some of the cons or struggles would include, and this is not in any particular order, the emotional roller coaster of owning a memory bear business. So, owning a business is just not about creating these teddy bears or memory bears from old clothing. It's about weaving, like that pun, cherished memories into tangible keepsakes for other individuals. But behind these memory bears, um, is this world that most people don't realize or see or understand. And it's this whole world of emotions, emotions such as um, sorrow, joys, anxiety, depression. And by the way, today is May 4th that I'm recording this, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so this ties in perfectly with that. I was interviewed a couple years ago for mental health and memory bear connections, the connection of the two. And I have that information on my website at stephaniegrams.com. But going back to this, behind this memory bear business, there are things that aspiring memory bear makers may not completely be prepared to deal with. So that's kind of what I'm talking about today, is for you that are aspiring, or you're new, or maybe you've been creating memory bears for a while and you're struggling. So maybe this video will give you some insight on what might be happening behind the scenes, maybe subconsciously, that you're not aware of. And by just, I have to legally say, I am not a mental health counselor or physician or specialist in any way. I'm just sharing some of the business aspects. Take it as you will. However, behind the comforting cuddles of each of these memory bears lies this world of emotional complexity, and that can be a business challenge. The heart of memory bears, or the industry, the keepsake business industry as a whole, is when you start to uncover joys, sorrows, sorry, and ugly truths that accompany it. And we've been cutting grass around here, so I'll be drinking water throughout this video. I apologize in advance. Moving on to the joys of preserving these memories. So, at the core of the memory bear business lies this joy of preserving these cherished memories of our customers. I have a unique view on both sides of this. I am a bereaved mom in one aspect because I have two children that have already passed away. And I am this business owner where I'm creating these unique memory bears and keepsakes for those that are bereaved to enjoy, who don't really know the business side of it. But now I know both sides of this industry. So I have this unique perspective that I give to my customers, but also my students of the academy. So at the core of the memory bear business lies this joy, right, of preserving these memories. And each bear represents a story. It's a connection to a loved one, a cherished moment of time, it's frozen in time for these customers. For each customer, these bears are more than just a stuffed animal. They are tokens of love, comfort, and nostalgia. And there's a satisfaction of being able to provide um, these meaningful keepsakes to them. There's it's a rewarding business, but it's also, it can cause you to struggle depending on the story. Um, so another aspect is the grief-stricken journey behind every single memory bear and keepsake that you make um, is a story of loss and grief potentially. Now, again, I have to put in here, it depends on your target customers. Perhaps you don't deal with those who are grieving or who have lost a loved one, or a loved one, a pet. Also could be a loved one. So maybe you don't technically deal with the loss part, but when we think about the term memory bears, it's a memory of something of a past. There are other terms that we use for our industry when it comes to memory bears and keepsakes, and I go into detail in the students' um, portal on the different terms and how to choose the correct term for your target customers. Okay, so if you're a memory bear maker for somebody that's on this grief stricken journey, the journey of healing is what I usually call it. You're going to hear the story of loss. Customers often approach a memory bear business in times of mourning, seeking solace in the tangible remnants of their departed loved ones. A memory bear artist, which is you, right? You need to be able to navigate delicately with grief, empathy and compassion. You have to have a different mentality or a mindset when dealing with these individuals, with your customers. You don't want to be short-tempered or roll your eyes or be judgmental or any of that. You have to put your own thoughts and ideas and feelings aside and focus on the customer themselves. Remember, a business that is successful because they're focusing on the needs of their customers, not on the needs of the business owner. So hopefully that's a little bit of a gem for you. Um, each piece of the clothes that they entrust with you, um, it carries in a multitude of emotions, not just joy and sadness, but also longing and the memories. And it goes deeper. I'm sure I'm not a psychologist, but there's more into it. Those clothes, you as a as a memory bear artist, you can't look at these clothes as if it's fabric off a bolt from the store up the street, um, because these clothes are not replaceable. You can't go somewhere and buy the same shirt off the rack. Typically, you can't. Trust me, the customer would know. I think that I would know if somebody messed up on a piece of clothing that I sent them and then try to substitute it with something else. We just People know when things are correct or are not correct. So really, it's your responsibility to honor all of those emotions while you're crafting this keepsake. And so there is a lot of responsibility. And so now we're going to talk about that. The weight of the responsibility may not be for everybody. If you enjoy, maybe you enjoy quilting and you are really good at making quilts or even stuffed animals, but from the fabric up the street, this is not the same thing. It may be the same pattern, but the outcome in the process needs to be handled a different way, differently, I should say. So crafting these memory bears is not just a creative endeavor. It's really like a sacred responsibility. Each stitch, everything you cut, if you use chalk, tailor's chalk or a marker, any of that, you have to know, will it come out of the fabric? Like, you don't have to really think about that with some of the fabric up the street because your mindset subconsciously might just be that, I can just go buy another piece of fabric, no big deal. But you can't have that mindset when you're working with keepsakes and memory bears and other individuals' pieces of clothing. Um, so keep that in mind if this is something that you're looking into. Um, each stitch is important in this fabric. Like I said, anytime you cut anything, stitch it together, any of that, because these grieving families are trusting you with one of the most precious memories that they have left of this loved one. The pressure to deliver a product that accurately captures the essence of their loved one can be immense. Any mistake, no matter how small, has the potential to reopen wounds and deepen the customer's grief. So, attention to detail and a commitment to excellence are paramount in this line of work. And excellence and be really truly knowing who you are. Like on this YouTube channel, I have well over 900 training videos in the keepsake and memory bear business aspect. And the business side of this is very, very important. And like I said, I'm one of the very few creators who knows what it's like to be on both sides of this industry. One as a bereaved mother, but also the other as a business owner who creates keepsakes. So I have this unique opportunity to bring you some facts that you may not understand beforehand. All right. So the next thing is work life balance. And this is real. There is no true balance to work and life. Um, one will suffer over the other one at times. And so if you go into this thinking that you can better manage your time, or if you're struggling now in your personal life to manage time, just know that that's something that you can work through, but you have to be purposeful in doing that. So you have a balance between work and life responsibilities. Like I said, I've been an entrepreneur since I was around 6 or 7 years old. I know that sounds crazy, but my first job was using a vacuum and getting paid for it. So guess what? It wasn't a chore. It was actually in an office building. That was my first taste of entrepreneurship. The better I did and the more sweeping I did, the more I got paid. And no, it was not child labor. It was nothing like that. It was a very important life lesson. I love it to this day. I'm 48 years old, and so that memory has always stuck with me through all of my life's decisions and journey. So, saying all of that to let you know you have to learn from mistakes and move forward and be honest with yourself about where you are and what you can actually manage in your personal life. So, owning this memory bear business can blur the lines between work and personal life. And the demands of this business, coupled with the emotional toil of working with grieving clients, can take a significant toll on your mental and emotional well-being. Um, you know, Again, you would have to be able to find that balance for yourself to make this work. And it's something that you can learn over time. Don't expect day one to look like day 500. You get better with time. You need to be able to think of all of these responsibilities when you're fulfilling orders. You need to take care of yourself. And there's a struggle there, especially during the busy seasons. Some of the memory bear makers decided that they won't have a busy season, and others of us are seasonal. And I enjoy the seasonal because there are things that I do inside the business where I do take a break. And let me just pause real quick between the seasonal and the non-seasonal. And there's a pros and cons to both of those. And real quick, I'll give you just maybe one. So there are memory bear makers who open their books, so to speak, their ordering calendar, the first week of every month, and they cut off the orders at 10, maybe 10 bears, and then the next month they will open their books for just ornaments, and they'll only accept maybe 10 or 20 sets. And then the following month, they'll open their books for a different item, and then they'll cut that off. And they are avoiding the holiday rush basically by doing that. The old school way of doing this was seasonal, and seasonal was Easter, Christmas. Um, what was the other one? There was Easter rush. There was Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day and Christmas were like the number one rush for some of us. Others of us maybe had a more seasonal approach to specific holidays related to our customers. That's typically how I would run my business personally. But that's because I have other things that I do, other creative endeavors within my business. So memory bears weren't my number one seller or focus every year I've been in business. My first two, maybe my first 2 years, it was like the focus was memory bears. And I opened my books at random times that related to my customer base. Um, and that's something I can talk about in the student portal if you're a student or soon to be student. No, actually, when you're a student, let me know if you would like me to go into more detail on that. Give me one second. I need a drink. Okay, I'm back. So I won't waste your time going on that, but kind of keep that in mind when we're talking about work-life balance, because there is a way to balance your work and your life without um, suffering. And it can take time. There's going to be this rhythm that you get as you grow your business, and as you grow as a person, and as your family responsibilities change. So keep that in mind no matter what stage you are in your business. All right, so you don't want to burn out. That will jeopardize the quality of your workmanship and your name to the industry. And so you have to have a maintained um, boundaries with self-care. If you go to my playlist and look for January of 2024, I give you a whole video on how to make your 2024 goals. And it's really important that you have that in writing for yourself and you hang it up. Maybe one day I'll show you my wall of notes. We'll see. I might. Moving on is financial uncertainty. Now, you will see some memory bear makers talk online about how busy they are, how many orders they've got, and they're just doing wonderful and great. But you have to remember that the internet it's very, very easy to mislead individuals on the internet. So please don't look at another memory bear maker and say, what is that person doing to stay busy all the time? Chances are you are never going to know the truth behind that video. So please do not lose yourself and your goals by veering out of your lane, because we talk about, shiny object syndrome and staying in your lane. And that video is going to be updated, and I'll bring that to you soon. Stay in your own lane and stay focused on your own goals in a nutshell. Because if you start scrolling social media and you're looking at all of these other memory bear makers and you're saying, wow, they look at all their orders. Look how full their shelves are. Oh, look, they have a storefront. Let me tell you something. Videos do not tell the full truth behind those stories. And yes, it is possible. If you want a storefront, you need to be in the academy, because that is something that we discuss. And we can also discuss that in the private student group, again, if that's your goal. I can share information on that for you. But for the majority of us, we enjoy that freedom of low inventory, low responsibilities to finances, and working from our own home studio. Me, I am a home studio individual, and there's reasons for that. And if you would like more information, you need to be a student at the Keepsake Business Academy for that. So financial uncertainty. So despite the emotional rewards, because there are rewards, we feel something when we know we're helping a person through a difficult time in life. The memory bear business is not immune to harsh realities of entrepreneurship. So you have to go back and remember you are a sewpreneur. And yes, I do own Sewpreneur and sewpreneur.com. So that's a sewing entrepreneur. And you are a sewing entrepreneur, and fluctuations in demand, seasonal trends, and unforeseen expenses can wreak havoc on this on the financial stability of this particular industry. Um, there's other things that might hinder your target customer from moving forward, and we can talk about that another time. But unlike more mainstream industries, the market for memory bears is very niche, and it can be unpredictable. So it makes it difficult for us artists, sewpreneurs, to forecast the revenue and plan for the future. The cost of materials and labor can eat into the profit margins if you're not careful. Now, that's one of the things about this industry. You do not need inventory. Um, so there's a couple things I keep in inventory. I shouldn't say that, but they're not expensive. It's just if I don't keep it in inventory and I need it, I just, I don't want to have to go to the store and get it. But again, that's something that we talk about in the Keepsake Business Academy, just to kind of keep you well stocked and prepared inventory wise and so forth. All right, competition and market saturation. So I have heard individuals say, it's so saturated, but let me tell you, it is not saturated. I hardly believe that this market will ever be saturated. Now, when you're on social media and you're scrolling, it feels like it's saturated, but that's the falsehood of social media. Social media and the internet only shows you what the algorithm shows you. It doesn't necessarily paint the truth. So I'll just leave that part at that. So the memory bear market has become increasingly popular, and there are a lot of individuals that are looking into being part of this industry. But let me tell you, they're not qualified. They might be missing some of the very core aspects for this business, and it will catch up to them. So again, this is why you just need to stay in your own lane, know who you are, know who your customers are, and just stay focused on your goals. And that's one of the things that I give a huge discount on my one-on-one coaching to the students. And real quick, I'm going to give you a really quick reminder. This is for May 2024 only, and this deal ends May 31st, 2024 at midnight Eastern time. But if you sign up at the Keepsake Business Industry and become a student, you will get every product in my sewing Etsy shop, all of my business supplements as a bonus at no cost to you. So again, this is a one-time deal, and after this, I will not offer it like this. I will not offer this discount ever again. But anyways, it's you're saving a lot of money doing this. Okay, so the hidden cost of emotional labor is the next one, and it's often overlooked aspect of owning a memory bear business is the toil it takes on the soulpreneur's emotional well-being. You work with grieving clients day in, day out. Again, not all of you, but the majority of you do. This can be emotionally draining, especially if you are missing out on sleep, or you're tired, or you have your own personal issues happening in your life or in your family. It can cause you to burn out real quick and want to just throw in the towel and to kind of be done with everything. So again, one thing that you need to constantly do is just remember you need to focus on the customer. You're not there to do the actual healing of the person. You are just you're providing a service to help them through a difficult time is what you're doing. So the constant exposure of someone's pain and sorrow can wear you down emotionally. So you just need to know your boundaries is what I'm saying. I've been able to work through things. I've worked with customers who have had grandparents that passed away naturally. I have worked with parents who've had a child born sleeping. I have worked with parents who have lost children through a miscarriage. I have worked through my own grief when my daughter Hannah passed away unexpectedly, and also my own grief of having a miscarriage. I've worked with individuals who have had loved ones that um, did away with themselves, and I can't use the word because we will be flagged. So I've worked with dozens of different types of grief, and um, you know, even those that were taken by another person's hands. So you have to be prepared on who your customers are. Know your boundaries, and you can't feel bad for not accepting every single order that might or customer that reaches out to you. So this is something we talk about in the academy if you would like to. All right, so navigating ethical dilemmas. My goodness. In pursuit of the profit, memory bear sopreneurs may encounter ethical dilemmas that test your moral compass, from respecting the wishes of deceased individuals to honoring the privacy of grieving families. Navigating the ethical complexities of this business requires a keen sense of integrity and empathy. Um, for example, when you're working with clothes that hold painful memories for the family, the sopreneur must tread carefully, ensuring that the final product brings comfort rather than more trauma. And you also have to be respectful of cultural and religious sensitivities, because you are dealing with matters of a person's life, death, and their legacy. So, again, if you're not comfortable working with a certain demographic, then don't advertise to them. You need to know your boundaries, because the one thing you don't want to compromise your morals, and you don't want to have terrible craftsmanship because you didn't enjoy working with that type of demographic or customer. So not every single customer that comes to you is going to be the ideal customer, and just like every customer that comes to you might not be your ideal customer, you might not actually be their ideal memory bear maker. So keep that in mind, and you don't take offense. You cannot take offense in this industry. And can I just say just a side warning? Um, if you get negative feedback or snarky comments when you post on social media, you need to take that as a grain of salt from a person that does not know your true craftsmanship. Okay? There are issues where, what is the word? It's when somebody you're okay, I'll just say it like this. When you're if you are seen as competition for somebody in the same industry, they may try to sabotage you online. Don't allow that to happen, and don't allow that to divert you and your business goals. But you do need to be aware if your customer who truly loves your items and enjoys you and all that gives you some feedback on maybe something didn't work out right, accept that as constructive criticism. You don't want to take destructive criticism to heart. You want to take constructive. So always know your boundaries. and know your customers the best that you possibly can. And that comes with time and practice. All right. So don't stop if you just have one bad experience. If this is where your calling is in life, you just move forward, you get some expert advice, get some direction, get some help, and you move forward. All right. So um, the ugly truth is facing criticism and disappointment. And we're just about done. And I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me so far. Again, this is Stephanie Grams at Keepsake Business Academy. So moving on, despite your best efforts, a memory bear sopreneur is not immune. We are not immune to criticism and disappointment. And that could be anything. It could be your competitors maybe trying to sabotage you, or it could be a customer that's just never, ever, ever going to be satisfied. You have to be able to move forward from that, learn whatever lesson you can, and just if you need expert advice and help and direction, again, you really need to be at the Keepsake Business Academy because our students over there are top notch. Everybody is trying to be supportive to everybody, and that's one thing I only want. I only want positive individuals as students because there's enough negativity in this world. I just don't want that in the academy. And I know my students don't either. We're there to help and encourage one another and work through difficulties, answer questions, and things like that. If you're seeing this video in the future, please know you can go to keepsakebusinessacademy.com and see what options and bonuses are available to you. But I'm hoping that you get on the bandwagon in May of 2024 because those bonuses are enormous. They are extremely valuable, not monetarily valued. There's no monetary value for you, but for business growth, it's very valuable. Okay, so moving on, some things, some disappointments in your business could be missing a deadline due to something completely out of your control. Even a dissatisfied customer, again, if you have open communication between you and your customer, this should not be a problem. Um, when your customer gets their product, they should be satisfied with it. And if you have that communication between the two of you, and that's talking to one another, text, email, showing pictures, if they're okay with the pictures and everything and you mail the order and all of a sudden they don't like it, then that's not your fault and that's not your problem. Because I mean, I'm just being honest with you. If you have shown even if you take a video of all angles of that product, that finished item, and they okay it and they love it, once they get it, there should not be a problem with that. So some customers may not be a true customer and they may be a freebie seeker, and that does happen in this industry. So please be very aware of who you're dealing with and make sure that you have your policies and procedures and your legalities in writing and agreed upon by both parties. I cannot give you tax advice or legal advice, but I can share with you as my paying student what I use in my own business. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. um you know, Online reviews and social media scrutiny. Um, well, even a single negative comment can have like this terrible consequence for a small business owner. So just learn to accept criticism gracefully and using it as an opportunity for growth. And that's a very essential skill as a memory bearer sopreneur. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And know your boundaries. In conclusion, owning a memory bear business is a journey that does have emotional complexity and some business challenges. There is joy preserving these cherished memories, and they can be immensely rewarding. It's a this all is accompanied with the weight of responsibility, staying in your own lane, and knowing your boundaries. Um, There's a way to work through the struggles of work and life balance. And there is some uncertainty as a solopreneur. So you would just learn to navigate all of these different types of landscapes and embrace what you can as you work and you grow your business and you move forward with everything. So, in closing, that was conclusion. In closing, I just want to give you a call to action. If you listen to this whole video, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, use the hashtag Sopreneur or yeah, Sopreneur, because that's the one I use a lot on YouTube. And then leave it like a heart emoji or a teddy bear emoji, and just let me know that you watched this video and you were here. That helps me out because that tells YouTube to share my videos with more individuals in the keepsake business industry. And we have a lot to offer this industry as makers, as sopreneurs. And if you're aspiring or new, or you want to just grow yourself and your business moving forward, come on over to keepsakebusinessacademy.com, especially the month of May of 2024, because you will end up with a lot of wonderful bonuses that others will not get at as a perk for joining the academy. So again, it's stephaniegrams.com. Stephanie Grams here, the CEO and founder of keepsakebusinessacademy.com, where I help sewing hobbyists, sewing enthusiasts go from hobbyist to sopreneur in the keepsake business industry. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And oops, sorry. Okay.